guys, Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters. So I am using this super cute picture of my little man having pretty much his first drink of Boost. He has tried it before, but this one I got the girls to give me an extra cup and I split some in with him and he was so excited. He wasn't feeling 100%, the poor little guy, so he was very excited to get to have some Boost. And I have created a little cut file of a drink container that I'm going to turn into a shaker pocket. And I fussy cut a 4x6 piece of cardstock that had gold pineapples all over it because that was part of the flavouring in our juice box. And then I have some sequins as well that I'm going to mix in. So unfortunately this video took me forever. There was way too many elements to this. And I could have cut stages out, but I decided I wanted to keep everything in for you. So it is very fast. So if this is absolutely killing you, please let me know so that I know not to do it this fast again. I can do it in 2-part videos, or you can just have a super long, over half an hour video to watch. I know a lot of this process has been done before, so I was hoping you'd be okay with the speed, so fingers crossed. So in that first section, you just saw me matting the front of my cut file with a piece of old acetate that I have now set aside to dry. What I'm doing now is a bit of embossing. So I've got a stencil and I'm pushing my embossing ink pad through that stencil. Be careful, that does get, it's embossing glue, so it's really quite sticky. So you're not going to get an absolutely 100% perfect stencil print unless you take the time to really hold your stencil down. So maybe stick it down with washi or really keep it as steady as you can. So I'm now brushing off any excess bits of embossing powder that might have stuck to extra of the glue that maybe slipped out from around the stencil. And so now I have got my heat gun and I am just applying heat, of course, to the embossing powder to have that do its reaction. So once that's finished, that was clear embossing powder. I'm now doing the process again with a white embossing powder. So again, just pushing my ink through the stencil there. I'm fairly sure that this uses more ink than is necessary. I know you can get embossing ink daubers, which I think would probably be far more sensible and work far better with pushing through a stencil, but I'm just working with what I have at home in my supply. So this is white. So the first one was clear, the second one is white. My clear was very old. It had bits in it, it had sequins in it. It wasn't in the best of shapes, so I decided I was going to do a little bit more embossing, but this time I'd just stick with the white because the quality of the white was a little bit better. So again, I still brushed off any excess bits that I had with a clean paintbrush, and I'm now just applying the heat tool. So once that's all finished, I am now just getting my watercolor paints. These are not special watercolor paints. They are from a $2 shop. I just liked them because there was a big variety of color. I'm using some cheap, I think they're called aqua brushes that you can fill with water. I can never be bothered doing that. I still just get the glass beside me and just use it as a normal paintbrush. And I am just going a little bit crazy with all the different colors, and I'm choosing the colors based on the collection that I am using, which I'm sorry I have not even mentioned yet. I'm using the Kitaholics Kits August kit, which has a lot of the Wild Heart collection, but the particular colors I am getting from here is actually a paper that was included in the kit, but it is not Wild Heart, I believe. I'm just having a look. You can probably hear me rustling. It is Heidi Swap Pineapple, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Heidi Swap Pineapple, and it is just a gorgeous mix of beautiful colors. So I am actually pulling my colors out of that, which I don't even end up using, but I just loved the colors. So heating that up because I am lazy and I don't want to wait. And once that has dried, I then get the exact same stencil again, and this time I am popping texture paste through and putting that on top of everything. So on top of the embossing, on top of the watercolor, just a little bit here, a little bit there, just adding to the background, adding some texture, adding some, getting some things to go. So I then, I'm just doing a little bit of cleanup. I then heat tool this as well. That is a bit of a preference thing. Applying the heat tool can make your texture paste sort of bubble and puff up a little bit. I wanted that effect because I wanted the different texture and the different, I suppose, thicknesses happening on the page. Over time, my texture paste does sort of, I don't know, go back down again. It did deflate, but you can sort of see in a few places where it has bubbled. But I kind of wanted that because I wanted to see, that it had gotten bigger. So I am back with my shaker pocket there. I didn't end up showing you the whole process of how I made that. It's the same as what other people do when they make shaker pockets. I stuck some foam all the way around the edge, added in my gold pineapples, and then put in my sequins. I thought I did have that recorded on here. I'm really sorry, but now that I'm doing my voiceover, I clearly didn't have that footage, so sorry about that. If you really did want to see another shaker pocket, I'm happy to make one. I've made them in the past. Other people on YouTube have made them, but just give me a shout if you would like to see one. And I'm now backing my photos. So just using some scrap white as I usually do. I feel panicked watching this video, so please let me know if this is way too fast for you. I feel watching it that I have to go really fast and blah, 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 blah. Oh, so please tell me if it is giving you that same feeling, because to me, that's not a nice feeling. So please let me know, because I don't want that to happen. Oh, there's the paper. See that beautiful hexagon shape paper with all the colors? That's where I pulled my colors from. I'm finding this paper super hard to use in a good way. It is so beautiful. I don't want to bust into any of it, and I've got so many ideas in my head of so many layouts that I want to do that I'm like, oh no, I need to save that for this layout. Oh no, I need to save that for this layout. But I am slowly chipping away at it. So I actually found backing these photos quite a challenge because of the direction I wanted them to go. And I was trying to make a large mat behind them, but then realized that didn't work because the shape became... I'll show you in a minute, actually. I'm about to put them on yellow paper, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The shape just became like a big, massive box, and that was not what I was going for, a big rectangle behind my photos. So I end up knowing that I want some yellow. So I actually just grabbed some yellow from my stash because I think that was easier to have such a nice big piece of yellow to work with. And so I stick my photos together in the sort of formation I want them to be. And then I stick them onto the yellow because I'm not too phased about, having offcuts of this, because this was a scrap in the first place. So I'm happy to be using it. So I then cut this out as a big rectangle shape to be like the mat behind the photo. And I know straight away it can't stay like that. But I had originally thought in my head that I could scrap them as one big piece. It just does not work because the big straight line down the right hand side is just disastrous. I've got to keep that L shape with the photo that's sort of happening naturally there. So that's fine. I go along with that. I do a little bit more tearing, add a little bit more texture. I know something's still missing and I cannot for the life of me work out what it is that I want to do. And then I'm sort of taking a break and I pull out the thickers and the ephemera and realize there's some tulle included in the kit. And the gold tulle is too much. There's too much going on with the background and the shaker pocket, but it just makes me think of softening. So I reach into my little stash of wrapping papers and tissue papers and things and pull out some tissue paper. I decided to go for the blue because I thought that was a really super cute colour to go with some of the background watercolours I've used. And I think that that was a good choice. It needed a little bit of softening up because the watercolour is a softer concept. The pink backing paper is softer. The matting was upsetting me for want of a different way of describing it. So I'm happy now softening that look a little bit. So I knew I wanted to tear a little bit around the border, but I wasn't sure 100% where. And also I wanted to talk about why I am using normal glue stick glue and using the entire page and not gutting it. This is because when you use a lot of watercolors and embossing and texture paste, your page can often warp. And especially as well because I also applied the heat. So I decided I was going to mat the entire page onto the pink card because that would then, as you could see from all the rubbing I just did and how shaky the film got, I could flatten it out again and get rid of all of those warps and bubbles and things like that. It also turned out that the pink paper I'm using is very, very thin. It is not cardstock weight at all. It's almost not even copy paper weight. It is super thin. So I knew to mat the whole page. I wasn't really wasting anything that I'd want later. So that worked well for me. I also, just in case you missed it, used my tiny attacher to put little staples where those tears were, just to, give it a little something. I think it's cute. So now I'm just spending time popping up all of the sections of the photos and the shaker pocket. My little straw fell off, so I'm being really careful to make sure that straw is secure because I really want the straw. The straw is important to my story, to me, because obviously that picture of me and little man, we're sucking on our straws, so I really want to make sure that that's there. What else can I tell you? Words would be good. Before I felt like it was all going so super fast that I couldn't keep up, and now we're finally getting to a stage where the video itself is still fast, but the process is slowing down. I'm up to the ephemera and embellishing now, and I knew always that I wasn't going to do much ephemera or embellishing. There is just so much going on this page, with the shaker pocket, with the background, with the colors, with just everything, that I knew I didn't need a lot. So I'm looking through the Wild Heart collection and making two piles of things that might work and piles of things that I'm not interested in. Even still, I know I'm not going to use them all. So I'm putting away the things I'm not interested in. I'm umming and ahhing about what my title is going to be. I want to use those black thickers because I actually think adding some black will help tone it down a little bit. There's just so much color. I didn't want to use gold thickers because there's already so much gold going on. I didn't want to introduce a new color, so I knew I wanted to tone it down. And I also pulled out those black diamantes from my stash because I knew with a black heading I needed a little bit more black in there as well. So just adding that too. So most of the bits and bobs I pulled out of the ephemera pack of the Wild Heart, I knew I was going to use for layers behind my photographs, just to add a little bit more interest and a little bit more color popping out from behind. So I knew I wanted to use that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday tag because I loved the yellow in that, and I thought that really, or the yellowy green color, and I thought that really tied in with the other colors that had been used and with the colors of the greeny sequins in the shaker pocket. So I knew that was going to happen, and because it had a hole in it, you have to include some twine. I don't believe in putting things with holes and then not having the string coming out. I think it looks a bit funny. Current mood, incredible. Part of me didn't want to put the word incredible because he actually wasn't feeling 100% this day. He was just a little bit off, but I think having a boost would boost anybody. Just popping on the different layers. I had already stuck down the photos. I wasn't concerned about that. The foam that I use is easy to sort of pull up a little bit, especially after this short amount of time. Just playing around with a few more tiny words, but they were a bit big and not quite the right sentiment word for what I wanted. So just keeping it simple, popping on some diamantes. And I ended up just going with Yay and Wowza for the title, because I think that's how he felt when he got to get his own special boost and got to drink that while we wandered around the shops. So pretty lucky boy. And then some Heidi Shine in the gold. And here are a few close-ups. I'm trying to show you how that background looks and the shaker pocket. I do also have some photos. You can see how the edges of some of the texture paste are a bit puffy. If that's a look you like, apply your heat tool. If it's a look you don't like, give it time to dry more naturally. It'll still obviously be puffy. It's texture paste, but it won't be as puffy as what mine's gone. So there's my shaker. Hopefully that didn't give you a headache. And I've got some close-up photos as well, because I just think it's a little bit easier to see in the photographs. So I hope you liked this layout. Again, sorry if it went way too fast. Please let me know. If you wanted to see the process of how to make the shaker pocket, please let me know. I didn't use any special tools, just popped it all together with foam and double-sided tape. And yeah, I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned for more videos coming up soon. Thanks guys. Bye.